Oh hey, what's up everyone? So this is Attila from the 16 Bar Studio, and today we are gonna do something a little bit unorthodox because usually I flood my YouTube channel with synthesizers and live jams and music production and whatnot, and this is still very much related to music production because without this aspect right here there wouldn't be a whole lot of proper good quality music production in any case, and that would be using acoustic treatment in your studio. So as you can see on the back, I already put a few acoustic panels there, but they don't really do a whole lot, so I decided to step my game up a little bit. So I contacted this really amazing company who I've been following on Instagram for years now. So I contacted Phil from SoundAssured, and let me tell you, just so far the experience with Phil and his company, it has been absolutely amazing. He was kind enough to take the time to look at some photos that I sent over to him. We actually got on a video chat, and he really helped me out with respect to what I was gonna need to tackle a few of the issues that I had in my studio. Now, acoustic treatment in the studio is one of those black holes, super crazy touchy subjects that there is absolutely really no hard and fast rule as to how to get it done properly. You can do DIY stuff, which I do use a lot because I like to save money. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just on making sure that your studio sounds right. So there's a huge dynamic range of options available with respect to what it is that you can do to make sure that your mixes and your music sounds good when it hits the market eventually. So I'm definitely not going to get into details about that because A, I'm not an expert, B, we don't have the time. I'm just going to do here what I think is going to make a difference based on the few observations that I have made in the past few months since I built the new studio, based on the advice from Phil, and based on a few other things that I've gathered along the way. So basically I came to the conclusion that installing the setup that we are about to install is gonna get me to the point where I would like to be. Okay, here we go. Let's tackle these guys. So I got two massive rolls, and like I said, they're all vacuum packed. And the first thing that I notice is it's heavy. It's really heavy, which to me usually tells quality. You know, it's supposed to be foam, which would sound like it should be pretty light. This stuff is heavy. You know, it's kind of like when you get a new mattress. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of these 4-inch panels, and these are 24-inch by 24-inch size. These are some bass straps, I think. Yeah. Round 2. All right, very cool. All laid out very nicely, a little bit separated so they have time to grow, they have room to grow. We're gonna leave these for a couple of days. I'm gonna give them ample time. I mean, I'm in no rush right now. And yeah, when I'm back, we are gonna start installing them. And again, that's gonna be a pretty good process because as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. That's a room full of foam. All right, here we go. This is awesome. I've given plenty of time for the foam to expand. It's actually about 2 months later than when I recorded the earlier videos, but through the magic of editing, you guys don't need to be a part of that. So this is what's gonna happen. I've laid out all the foam in the locations where I want to install them. I've set up the tools of the trades that we are going to use, and very slowly, meticulously, I'm gonna start installing all the foam on the walls. Now, there have been a few suggestions as to how I should go about fixing the actual foam panels to the wall, and there are quite a few methods that you can utilize. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the 3M command strips because I don't want to do any damage to the wall And if I ever need to remove the foam, I want to be able to do that without leaving any sort of marks on the wall, and that is the best way to go about that. In addition to that, I'm also going to be using staples, maybe even push pins, but we'll get to that. For now, let's quickly go and look around a little bit to see which locations I decided to put the foam. And I've already installed a few of them. If we look around, there are a couple of bass straps over the computers in that corner, which again will be catching some serious reflections off of the speakers. And then we have 2 bass straps installed on this wall over here. And moving on, in this corner, I've also pre-installed 3 bass straps. Now, the main areas where I'm going to be using the 4-inch panels is this wall here. And if you see, that's fairly close to the studio area. And then this 45-degree extension of that wall. On these 2 columns over here, I'm gonna put basically from ceiling all the way to the floor, 3 panels of 2-inch. The wall behind Oscar is going to get 4-inch panels as well. Bass straps are gonna be going into that corner and 3 more bass straps into this corner. And I'm gonna be using more of the 4-inch panels, and they are gonna be going on top of the wall that's already a acoustic wall. And last but not least, the main concern area is the ceiling over the mixing or listening position, if you will. I'm gonna cover this area with 4-inch panels, basically from side to side, from front all the way to the back. Okay, so let's go and look at the tools of the trade real quick, which I have everything laid out here on this table. So we have a staple gun, we have masking tape and the pencil in case we need to mark something. We have the 3M command strips, quite a few boxes of them. I might be using some push pins, but definitely need the measuring tape, glasses, bongo, and the bowl. No way, that is gonna be an entirely different video. Okay, I'm gonna start with this area over here behind me, and I'm gonna be using the ceiling line as reference. Okay, cool. So 4-inch panels, 6 of them are gonna be going up here. And what I wanna do, I'm gonna basically create one big panel out of the 6, and I want them to split this wall area. And like I said, I'm gonna use the bottom of the ceiling line as reference. So they are gonna look kind of sort of like this, starting here, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're gonna move down, and it's gonna be 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm gonna repeat the same thing over here. And since I'm using the bottom of the ceiling, I'm not gonna really need to mark anything other than the midpoint of the wall. So I'm gonna measure that out. So we have 81 inches, so that would be 40.5 inches. So the way I'm gonna do this, because I know this is a 24 by 24 inch panel and it has 6 equal segments. So I know this is the middle. So if I line up that middle line with the marking on the wall that I just made, then I will know that this panel is in the middle, and then we're gonna put the other 2 on each side of it. And here comes the long and tedious process of applying the 3M command strips, which is not really that hard. I just go ahead and separate them. They have 2 different sides. One of them says wall side, and the other one is the side that's gonna be touching the foam itself. And the way these come off of the wall, you have to pull on this little tag here, and that will basically just rip it off without damaging the wall. So be mindful which way this is facing, because you're gonna want to be able to reach it, obviously, if you ever decide to remove it from the wall. And I'm gonna pick an area where the foam is the thinnest, right here, because I want to be able to apply pressure, crazy good pressure, to make sure that everything bonds properly. Okay, that should be good. Now let's repeat that process for the other 4 corners. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just gonna remove the other side of the double-sided tape, and it's basically ready to go up on the wall. So I'm gonna find my marking, say a prayer, aim and shoot. So 3M says to keep applying pressure for a good 30 seconds, and that seems like that's all there is to it. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the process for the other 147 panels now. You're welcome to tag along. One important part I forgot to mention, and this is extremely important, especially if you are doing this after construction where there could be drywall dust and just dust in general, wipe the wall clean. And you don't have to wash it clean, just give it a good wipe just so there's no dust on the surface, okay? Just to point out quickly the positioning of the command strips, again, I'm using the cutout as a reference so that I know that it's somewhere alongside this line. And I'm gonna put it a few inches, let's say 4 fingers width, going with super high-tech methods here, because that way I know where to press when it goes up against the wall. Does that make sense? And as for positioning, I'm putting one in each corner. You could put one more in the middle for added support, but each and every one of these is supposed to be able to hold 5 pounds, and this is nowhere near that, so 4 of them should be more than enough. In case one of them comes loose after the fact, like the next day you go and you check your studio and you find that one of them came loose, you know, just pop it behind and just give it extra pressure, use an extra one, and it's really easy to fix. It's not that big of a deal. I know because it happened to me, and that's because I forgot to clean the wall. Here we go, wall number 2 with the 4-inch panels, and it's gonna be the same process. I'm just gonna measure it, place the middle one, and then build around it slowly. Now, one thing I'm gonna do differently on this wall though, if you notice, I have this light switch panel here on the wall, and I don't wanna cover that, or I don't want that to interfere with the placement of the panels. So I'm gonna start measuring the wall right here, and I'm not gonna consider this area, okay? So I have these 2 vertical columns here right beside the speakers, and I'm gonna cover them in 2-inch, 2 feet by 2 feet panels. And I'm gonna do it in a way where I kind of wrap it around. So I'm not gonna fix it flat against the wall, but I'm gonna wrap it around the column like so. So I'm just gonna rough fit it against the column first to see how it goes. That's about right. And we can staple away. Okay, very cool. So now we have these done. Let's move on to the back wall of the studio, which is the wall that's already been treated with some acoustic panels in the form of basically just leaving the drywall open and stuffing it with rock wool in between the studs. But like I said, I wanted to put more absorption on it because I'm really trying to make sure that I do the best job with battling some of those standing waves that can, you know, mess up your mix. So let's go there, and this time we are gonna be using little push pins and just a little tap of the hammer just to keep them fixed to the wall, but not super permanently. Let's go. And this time, because I know where the studs are, because that's how I covered this wall here, according to that, I know this is in the middle, I know this is gonna be symmetrical, and this is gonna be symmetrical. And what I'm looking to do quickly, I might not even need the hammer, who knows? Yeah, that actually worked. I didn't need the hammer, I can just press it in there with my thumb and good to go. Awesome. Okay, awesome. So that was super simple. Little thumbtack straight into the wall. I'm gonna cut the video here and I'm gonna install the rest of the panel. And once I'm done here, I'm gonna show you the end result. But I'm standing here and I can already hear a difference. Just by these panels being up around me, I can already tell that some of those echoes that were really bothering me coming off of these walls and columns are no longer there. So we're definitely on the right track. This is freaking amazing. Thanks very much, SoundAssured. All right, excellent. So this is the morning after, and last night I completed the entire installation. I put all the bass traps up in the corners. I installed all the 4-inch and the 2-inch panels everywhere in those locations that I had shown you earlier. I completed the installation on the ceiling also with the 4-inch panels, and then I just let everything to simmer overnight to make sure that all the 3M command strips are holding well. And yeah, everything looks great. There was one little spot where one command strip came loose. I guess it's probably because I didn't clean the wall too well, so I just fixed that by putting one quick staple in there. But everything else is holding perfectly and it's looking great, and more importantly, it's sounding freaking amazing. And I'm gonna show you a comparison of a clap sound before and after at the end of this video. It's pretty eye-opening. For now, let me just grab the camera and I'll show you around. I just want to see, I just want to show you the final product. So here we go. Okay, so you've already seen the ones on the back wall. And then we have the bass traps, and I put 4-inch panels on this side wall as well. Looking down the hallway, next to the door on the left and the right side, if you remember, I was gonna do the 6 panels, and these are 2-inch panels, and then the 3 panels on the right-hand side. Let's look back on this wall here real quick. This is the wall that's right next to Oscar's enclosure. And I did something special on this wall, which I'm gonna show you in a second. More bass traps in that corner. The 2 columns, you were watching me installing those yesterday. And let's have a look at the ceiling. I had to do a little bit of a cutout here just to accommodate for this light on the ceiling, and also over here. It was very simple. You just take a sharp knife, really, and you can just cut it out. So these are being held up by staples. Moving on, you've already seen these panels on the side walls. And you've also already seen what we started with. And I did end up putting, I had some leftover 24 by 24 2-inch deep panels. So I ended up putting those on either side of the large TV in the sitting area. And that actually happens to be, if we come back here, right behind the speakers. So as you can see, I have a lot of extra absorption there, in addition to that wall already being an acoustic wall. And let me tell you, this whole installation has made a profound difference in the way the studio sounds. Here are the ceiling panels again, and the panels on the back wall. If we look at everything from behind the mixing desk, this is what you see. And the columns again. Okay, so let's go back here, because I want to show you what I did with these panels here, because I've suggested a few installation methods, one of which was the double-sided 3M tapes. And these are more or less the same thing, except these have Velcro on them. So the reason I did this, again, pretty much just to show you another option, because you might have a studio space where you don't always want these to be on the wall. For whatever reason, that can happen. And to be able to take these off quickly, this is a pretty good solution that I found, which is the same 3M command strips, but they have Velcro. And you can just pull them off like that. And these are the large ones, and these are supposed to hold up to 12 pounds. So 3 of them, 36 pounds, definitely more than enough. And if you want to put them back, again, put them in locations where you will know where they are, right? So don't just splatter them all over the back of the panel, because you won't be able to find them. I know these are lined up with the first cutout of this foam panel, so I can just put my finger there and place it back where it was, apply some pressure, and then do the same thing on the bottom, and there you have it. So that's pretty much it. That's where we are right now. I can already tell you that the sound here is 100 times better than what it was before. In my studio, which is this huge, crazy, irregular shaped room with all kinds of angles, a hallway, different heights of the ceiling, you know, somewhere it's 6.5 feet, somewhere it's 8, and then that big sitting area over there, it was all over the place. And this really helped me to condense the sound, to make it a bit tighter. And I wish I could showcase that to you, how the speakers sound. It's not really a good setup, because you're not going to be able to hear what I'm hearing here. But take my word for it, it sounds a lot better. And to show you something, sort of a before and after comparison, I recorded my clap sitting here at the studio station. So I put a stereo microphone right in the middle, and I just recorded my clap. And now we're gonna listen to a before and after, and you can judge what the difference is. All right, so let's jump into Ableton, and I'm gonna show you the before and after shot of the studio, which is, like I said before, I just did a very quick clap, which I recorded with a stereo microphone, and I'm gonna play it back to you. Not only will you be able to hear the difference, but I can also show you on the waveform. So here on the left is our before shot, and here on the right is our after shot. And as you can already tell, the one on the left has a heck of a lot longer of a tail compared to the one on the right. Don't worry about the amplitude. I just measured a quick clap and it did end up clipping, but that's not the point here. If we disable the grid and measure from here, let's say, to where I think the end of this clap sound is, if you look on the bottom where it says duration, it's 199 milliseconds. And now if I do the same thing on this clap over here, let's say this one ends here, that number is down to 95, so about half of it. And now let's listen. So this is the before. And now let's listen to the after. Wow. Now that's a profound difference right there. Before again, and after. I mean, it speaks for itself. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Cool. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comment section below. I will also leave a link to SoundAssured, which is the company who provided all this amazing acoustic treatment for my studio. I do suggest you check them out, because not only are they a great company in terms of product, but the customer service has been just off the charts amazing. Like it's been a very, very good experience. So I definitely recommend that you go and check them out if you're looking for acoustic treatment for your studio. My name is Attila Hanak. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked this video, if you found it useful, and if you learned something, please hit that like button. And if you would like to learn about electronic music production or synthesizers just in general, then feel free to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell icon to make sure that you don't miss anything. Thanks very much again for your attention, and I will see you very soon. Cheers.